Awesome. That was the musical break, and that is the newest mom in town, Kestin Mbogo, fading away there with an amazing, I love this song, and she's very much anointed as well. Nimepakwa, that is the title of this song, and it's taking us to 25 minutes to the top of the hour, 8 a.m. Time to get to see and read and update ourselves in as far as what's happening in our nation is concerned. Allow us to start with the Daily Nation. And it's sort of a face-off. This is actually, do they say, I hope it's the correct thing, deja vu. That is what I think it means, whereby you are facing a similar situation like you took someone through. So it's a case of deja vu, they say. And this is President William Ruto, and he's now former deputy Rigathi Gachagua and former ally, of course. And it's a face-off between the two. And it reminds the nation, of course, of President Uhuru Kenyatta then, and his estranged deputy president then, William Ruto. And of course, the then DP Ruto was going all hard on the Jubilee government then, and now it's a case of reverse roles as President Ruto is sort of facing a taste of his own medicine this time round as the head of state, and now his former deputy is sort of having an all-out war against him and his regime. And so this one goes, and that is the Daily Nation. Gachagua faces arrest. President Ruto's closest allies, the Deputy President and Interior Cabinet Secretary, sustained the messaging throughout the weekend that former DP Rigathi Gachagua is not untouchable and that he will be arrested for alleged incitement as he stepped up his blistering attacks on the government. And so President's allies say former DP has resorted to turning his personal challenges into a national crisis. And let that man continue making noise and inciting Kenyans. We will arrest him. The other day he told us that if he is impeached, there will be chaos. Was there chaos? Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen. Any leader who is encouraging early electoral campaigns does not wish our country well. It is unpatriotic to put our country in a perpetual campaign mode. That is DP Kindiki Kithure. And you cannot escape the blot of the Gen Z killings and abductions. You cannot condemn violence when your hands are dripping with the blood of Gen Zs. You cannot be speaking from both ends of your mouth, former DP Rigathi Gachagua. And so that we wait and see how that one unfolds. And there were reports that were coming out last night that police had actually mounted they were stationed in the various homes of the former DP with the name of arresting him. Let's see how that one unfolds today. Then I see here tribulations after Uganda. Tanzania now ejects Karua. Senior counsel Martha Karua and other Kenyan lawyers refused entry into Tanzania, where they had gone to visit a detained opposition leader weeks after harassment in Uganda. And of course that is the unfolding story. And there were of course videos and photos of Kenyan human rights activists, including former Chief Justice Willy Mutunga, detained at one of the airports in Tanzania as they had gone to show solidarity with opposition leader Lissu there. And Karua actually was deported. It's a story that is covered on page 8 inside the Daily Nation. And how tax relief scam has cost households. Big businesses are raking in huge profits exploiting tax reliefs intended to help lower prices of commodities. The firms have refused to pass on the benefits to consumers who continue to suffer high cost of living. I read that story. It's covered on page 6. And then why 833 million shillings will be cut from police medical cover. Lawmakers allege scheme by private players in collusion with officials to sabotage operations of a public hospital dedicated to police officers. That story is also on page 7 inside the Daily Nation. And then NAT asks MPs to restore 62 billion shillings slash from education. Teachers Union protests budget cuts on administration of national exams and funding for schools. So that is a story on page 7. And police raid Gideon's farm. The forcible entry by police and Kenya Railways officers stalls operations. It's a story that is covered on page 8. From the international scene, the news that broke out last evening was that former US President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer, and our thoughts and our prayers are with the Biden family during this very painful and difficult moment, and pray for his recovery. And then organizers of the Kip Keino Classic World Athletics Continental Gold Tour could move the event to Ulinzi Sports Complex if the Nyayo National Stadium is not ready in time for the event on May 31st. That is the stories that are covered inside the Daily Nation. As we shift gear and go to the Standard newspaper and what is being covered inside the Standard newspaper, for them they go with the headline "Captured Justice." That is what they go with. And double standards. Legal experts and political analysts are raising concerns about a growing trend in the justice system where individuals who break the law but sing the regime's praises appear to have a smooth run in the corridors of justice. In contrast, President William Ruto's critics are treated more harshly. Observers now say the legal system is being weaponized against dissenters. It's a story that is covered on page 4 and page 5 inside the Standard. And lawyer Gitobu Imanyara is quoted here saying state agencies have been weaponized to protect interests which appear to be purely commercial. Ruto is relying on this weaponization along with aging political allies to prevent his government from collapsing. And then I see the Bobby Mkangi, yet another lawyer, saying allies of President Ruto who faced charges under the previous regime have seen those charges dropped, raising questions about selective justice. That story is on page 4 and page 5. And then Lissu trial, Karua denied entry into Dar es Salaam, and that is a story that was also covered yesterday. Was awash, the social media was awash with the same, and also in yesterday's news. And survivors fight to heal from abuse. That is the World News segment. And then from the sports pages 30 and 31, for boxing coach, there is life after a crime. That is what is also covered on the inside the Standard. The Pullout Health and Science Pullout, the resilience of amputees. Despite advances in prosthetics, people living with limb loss face stigma, limited access to care, and societal barriers that continue to shape their daily struggles. But hope is on the horizon. Page 4 and 5. And then a silent mental disorder ignored and misunderstood by many. This is schizophrenia. It's a story that is on page 3. And the resurgence of dengue fever poses a threat to lives once again. That is on page number 6. That is what is being covered inside the Standard. Allow us to go to the Business Daily. And the headline, Trump's aid cuts hit Nairobi upmarket home landlords. Survey find more vacancies, rents cooling off, deep in prime rentals linked to expatriate workers leaving. And so that's a story on the front page and page 2 inside the Daily Nation. And Ruto's top advisors bill halves to 478 million after Gen Z protests, 1.2 billion shillings. This is the budget allocation to the 6 advisory units in the first year ending June 2024. And so that is what you can be reading on the front page and page 2 And the trade balance between Kenya and the UAE faces the risk of being distorted by increased direct flights from Nairobi to the Middle East country, which has cranked up re-exports of jet fuel. And Kenyan technology companies dropped off from a top ranking of Africa's fastest growing firms, reflecting the troubled growth of tech keys that are mostly startups. And the steady decline in Treasury bill interest rates has eased off over the last 4 weeks, indicating resistance among investors to lower returns amid an upward revision of the government's borrowing target and below par tax collection. That is the Business Daily, and you can grab your favorite copy of your daily, get to read what is happening in the dailies. People, let's continue to pray for our nation. We continue to insist on the same. We see what is happening, the political rhetoric, the accusations, counter-accusations, the war of words, the dwindling Kenyan economy, the financial situation not good, the different sectors really reeling from the aftermath of the hits that they have received. And so, you know, as one person once said, this selfishness, this greed, this, you know, me, myself, and I, only God can help us. And so let's not give up on ourselves, not give up on our counties, on our constituencies, on our nation, on the leadership of this nation, from the grassroots to the national level. Let's call upon the name of God for the same. All right? Sawa sawa. We take a break. This is to pave way for the video of the day.